Foundation by Stephen Meehan.
I can't believe we're holding another banquet already,
Tarian said, studying the makeshift hall that still reeked of freshly hewn timber. He rubbed his forehead as a heavy sigh escaped his lips. Keldon swallowed, glanced over, and smirked.
You look annoyed, my friend.
Tarian's gaze scanned the chamber.
This is the second banquet, and we're still no closer to securing an alliance.
Has it only been 2?
Keldon asked as he stabbed a chunk of meat with his fork. Tarian's fingers began drumming next to his empty plate. He examined the tables and benches before lifting his glass, eyeing the pale amber liquid. He took a sip, managing not to cough from the strength of the wine.
Yes, Kel. 2 banquets with the elves and dwarves, plus the one after the siege. And each has pulled another thread we can't quite identify.
Laughing, Keldon clapped his friend's back and lifted his goblet. He winked, took a swig, and sighed. He set the cup down and leaned over, lowering his voice.
If you're serious about this alliance of yours, Tarian, you'll have to get used to drinking this wine.
I'm aware.
Tarian grumbled as he tilted his goblet back to peer inside.
I'll admit it's flavorful. Sharp and pungent.
The elves won't touch anything else.
Keldon said.
Come on, drink up and enjoy it.
Tarian scanned the field within the rebuilding walls and spotted fatigue. The stout leader of the dwarves was deep in conversation with a group of his people, Caleb chief among them.
Personally,
Tarian said, closing his eyes.
I'm thankful that the dwarves seem to like our supply.
Keldon shook his friend's shoulder.
That won't help you.
Why's that?
Tarian asked as he opened his eyes and took another small sip of the wine.
Because the elves are temperamental, and politics is petty and painfully precise.
Keldon said, twirling his goblet in his hand, as a smile emerged.
They don't mind the dwarves drinking our supply, but they want to see us enjoying their wine.
Tarian tapped the rim of his glass as he peered into the liquid.
They want you and me to drink the wine?
Yes, you're the leader, and I'm the one who coaxed them into joining the fight.
Keldon said with a grin, taking a sip.
Drink up.
How much truth's in those words?
Tarian asked, sipping at his cup and struggling not to cough.
It's mostly accurate,
Keldon said as he returned his attention to the food in front of him. He lifted his utensils and sliced his meat.
The food is amazing.
Mark another reason why I prefer the dwarves,
Tarian said as he stood up. He drained the cup and winced as it scorched his throat.
It's time to make the rounds, Kel.
I'll be good here,
Keldon answered as he pointed at his plate with his knife.
This is the best food I've had since we crashed on this planet.
Tarian placed his goblet down and snapped his fingers, his gaze sweeping the room, ensuring no one lingered nearby.
Did you and Caleb get the blood samples I requested?
Keldon's fork froze midair as he glanced up into Tarian's demanding eyes. He shoved the bite into his mouth and chewed it into oblivion before washing it down with the elven wine.
I got a sample from the elves while we tended their wounded after the battle.
Keldon pushed his plate away.
What are you hoping to find in the samples?
Ignoring the question, Tarian asked,
And Caleb, did he get a sample of dwarven blood?
As far as I know.
Keldon replied, shifting in his seat.
What are you trying to figure out?
Tarian rubbed his chin as his eyes glossed over.
Our initial scans, the ones performed while in orbit and after the crash, we found life, but not humanoid life.
I remember Sherry mentioning that all the monsters of the Horde were created by scrambling and mutating the DNA of our missing colonists. Are you suggesting they...
Keldon said, lowering his voice as he gestured to the elves and dwarves.
were created the same way?
Tarian leaned down as he squeezed Keldon's shoulder.
I'm not certain. However, I plan on discovering this world's buried truth.
Keldon shook his head, eyed his plate, and groaned.
Thanks for spoiling my appetite.
You're fine, Kel.
Tarian said as he walked away from his friend. He glanced back at Keldon.
Don't worry, Kel. You'll be scarfing that food down again in no time.
Keldon waved him away and stirred his food while Tarian circled the hall. He congratulated his soldiers, the elven archers, and the dwarven warriors. When he crossed the halfway point, Bitik and Varial appeared in front of him. The dwarf emerged with a booming laugh, clapping Tarian on the back.
Still standing, I see.
Tarian forced a smile.
It's another wonderful evening, Fitik, but we have much to discuss.
He's looking for a decision on his alliance.
Variel said, folding his hands behind his back.
I told you he'd insist we provide an answer sooner than we'd like.
Bah,
Fitik groaned, letting his eyes focus on the man.
you know how to tank an evening.
I'll agree it's not the most exciting topic for discussions,
Tarian said, grasping the dwarf's shoulder.
but it's a discussion we must have.
Variel smiled at Tarian's persistence, and then bowed. He straightened and inclined his head as he extended his hand toward Tarian.
Your people have proven to be honorable and valiant. As a result, you'll enjoy the support of mine.
Thank you, Variel.
Tarian said with a sigh as he shook the elf's hand. He turned to face the dwarf.
Fitik, will you and your noble warriors join us in this alliance?
We cannot let the elves have all the fun, not to mention the honor.
The stocky dwarf extended his hand and said,
Aye, you'll have ours as well.
Tarian clasped his hand with a broad smile.
Thank you, Fitik.
With that, our story concludes. I hope you've enjoyed today's reprieve from your daily grind. If you like the vibe, hit that like button, drop a comment, and subscribe if you haven't already, because every bit helps get this channel spread to those who require a momentary chance to unwind. I'll see you for the next tale, my friends.
Thanks for reaching the end of the video. But why not keep the rhythm going? Pick one of the videos on screen and settle in for another moment of escape. And if you haven't yet, hit subscribe and tap the bell to get notified when new tales drop.